What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. First, we did get a hold of our second winner for the Smash Bros. Ultimate giveaway, so congratulations to Andy. A copy of Smash Bros. Ultimate is now on its way out to you, and you should be getting it in the next couple of days. Of course, we started the console giveaway for the holidays. That's down below. You can enter that as well, but congratulations to both of the winners there. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with Smash. I've been having a ton of fun with it. And we're actually going to go over some preliminary numbers that have kind of been put out there. I'm very interested to see how this game, I guess, how it performs in the sales charts, since that's Nintendo's last big release going into the holidays and into next year for their big 20 million shipment number that they're trying to hit. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about this interesting rumor for the Switch Pro. And it's kind of been bouncing around after this SNK press conference that took place for investors. And it seems like no one really knows where the rumor came from and everything. Well, I've been digging a lot, and I think we figured that one out, and some conflicting reports going back and forth. We're going to cover all of that. Wouldn't have made a very good rumor wave, so we're mostly going to talk about it here in a segment. And as always, guys, enjoy these videos, hit the like button. It does help out. We're going to start with some quick news, and we're going to start with Panic Button and Doom. Doom came out last year, but Panic Button is still updating it. And they're doing a good job because they've actually added in more features with video capture functionality, and they've also added in performance updates. So it apparently runs better, which we'll see. I don't know if Digital Foundry is going to go back and look at it again, but apparently it runs better and now has video capture enabled. So Panic Button's still updating this thing. The patch seems to come in right around 300 megabytes or so, but wow. It's amazing what they're doing with these games, and to see them continue on really, I guess, just shows they've been doing a good job if Bethesda's still continuing on with them. And of course, they're doing Warframe now, and who knows what's next down the line. Of course, we even saw a patch for Wolfenstein that seemed to improve it heavily, so Panic Button's on a roll. And I'm wondering if they're just going to keep upping their game when it comes to challenges with games that they're working on, because I'm sure they have more stuff to show us. Also, if you're a fan of Infinity Blades on the Apple iPhone, or I guess just the iOS store, maybe you bought them and you've been playing them, well, it's odd because Epic is actually removing Infinity Blades from the Apple store, like, completely. You can't buy it anymore. If you have bought it, you can still download it and play it, but Epic is just completely pulling them down. They don't really have a good reason. The only thing they've been able to say in response is that they can't keep up support for Infinity Blades to a level of standards that they're happy with. And what does that exactly mean? Because the game's done, it's out there, and what would they just be answering questions through email or something? It's a very odd move, but keep in mind, this is happening just after their Epic Game Store has launched, and I don't think they even really want to have to pay Apple a cut on Infinity Blade sales, but they also don't exactly have a mobile store, at least not yet. Who knows? Who knows? They could have their own store there. I mean, they didn't want to put, if you remember, they didn't want to put Fortnite on the Google Play Store. They wanted to have their own kind of launcher and everything, and makes you wonder if maybe they're coming up with their own store for mobile devices. Who knows? It's a weird move, though, either way, to pull it down. Oh, and you remember those NES controllers for the Switch that went up for pre-order, months ago for the online service, specifically for people who have subscribed to the online service, as they appear to only be for those NES games that you get as part of that subscription. They're now shipping those out, as several people have received emails for them. I ordered them, but I haven't received a shipment email. However, it sounds like I'll be receiving one maybe today or tomorrow with it coming out, because of course, I want to take it apart and see what's in there, how close it is to the original NES controllers and everything. And hey, maybe get to play around with it and test it with other stuff. Maybe it could sync up to the computer. I don't know. I also don't know, though, why you'd get that when you get like an 8-bit DOE controller or something. But either way, it's shipping out. So if you did order it, look for an email, and you should get a tracking number as well. And I'm at least looking forward to unboxing them, open them up, and kind of take a look at it. And with some of the quick news out of the way, let's jump into the bigger stuff. We're going to start with this Switch Pro and this SNK press conference that they had for investors, where they kind of outlined a roadmap with them, talked to them about what they were going to do to make money, essentially, which comes down to what games they're going to release in what quarter and for what system and all of this. And it seemed there was a lot of conflicting reports coming out of this, because they flashed a lot of slides that showed a lot of games and different logos on the right, and it did seem that that Samurai Spirits game that was announced earlier in the year, if you remember, I think a few months ago, and it was announced for the PlayStation system. It seems specifically for the PlayStation, maybe PC, but either way, we do know it's going to the PlayStation 4. They seem to show everything next to it. So here's the slide in question that everyone is talking about right now and why it links to the Switch Pro, which we'll get to in a second. But if you take a look at this slide, I agree. It looks like everything is going to all platforms. You got Nintendo, you got Steam, you got Xbox, like everything right there. I mean, you got like Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters 14, and you just have so much stuff there. Metal Slug, but according to Gamatsu, after they started to make the rounds, people seemed confused. They actually threw their hat in the ring and said, well, what this is here is they're showing all of the different franchises that have spread across these systems. They're saying it doesn't necessarily mean that the brand new Samurai Showdown is going to all platforms. That also doesn't necessarily mean that it wouldn't be going to all platforms at some point, or any one of these platforms. So far, we do know it's going to the PlayStation system. But what they're saying here is that, yeah, you can technically play different Samurai Showdown games. Of course, we have the Neo Geo selections on other platforms, including the Switch. And now we know that there is a new Samurai Spirits or Samurai Showdown game coming to the PlayStation. And they are saying it's coming Q2 of 2019. So that's between April and June. That should be April and June. And it's interesting to see this because why does this link to the Switch Pro? Well, there was a rumor from months ago, and I had to track this thing down, by the way. It was very hard to find this because people keep referencing it, but no one was really linking to the rumor. It was almost like it was just kind of being pushed around a lot about this Switch Pro and why it's linked to it. Well, someone actually made mention in a Reddit thread that they are designing Samurai Spirits or Samurai Showdown for the Switch. It's going to the PS4 and the Switch. Again, nothing confirmed here according to Gamatsu from that press conference. It's going to the PS4 and the Switch and then the Switch Pro, where the Switch will get two versions, one optimized for the Switch and one optimized for the more powerful, more capable Switch Pro. And this is actually the Reddit post here that you're seeing, and that's pretty much, from what I can tell, what everyone is going on here. That's from Hitagi, and all they say here is Switch and PS4 for now, no talks on PC yet. It will most likely come out on PC later, just like with King of Fighters 14. Believe it or not, the Switch is actually going to get two different versions. The first one for the original Switch, and second one for the new Switch Pro, which is going to be stronger and better. And that seems to be where these Switch Pro rumors are coming from. Now, Hitagi also talks about Steve for Smash. We talked about that months ago. There was a rumor for that. Smash is now out. There's no Steve. There are still 4 more DLC characters, so I guess keep that in mind. And who would have thought Joker from Persona 5 would show up, so I guess anything's possible. However, they seem to think it was going to be, I guess, in Smash already, and it hasn't. But again, plans change. Who knows there? Now, I'm not saying a Switch Pro isn't possibly coming, or just a Switch revision. In fact, I do think one is showing up in 2019 at some point. I'm not sure what kind of Switch it'll be, whether it's a more powerful Switch, or just a quality of life upgrade like the DS to the DS Lite. But with Nintendo's history and handhelds, because of course the Switch kind of merges the two together with the handheld portion and of course the home console version with like a hybrid system, it would make sense that Nintendo might say, yeah, let's do a revision, either make it more powerful or just make it better in some way. Battery life, screen size, who knows? But I think it makes sense that they would do that because, of course, it'll help them sell more systems. It's worked well with the DS, it's worked well with the 3DS so far, worked well with the Game Boy Advance, so yeah, new Switch, it'll sell. As long as the games run across the board, I really don't mind either way, and most people probably won't either, as long as they don't have to buy a new system for a brand new game that comes out. As for Samurai Spirits and the Switch, I can't imagine why SNK wouldn't want to put it on the Switch and the PC. The Xbox is the one where I'm a bit more hesitant about. That's why that logo up there kind of threw me a bit. I don't know if they really care to design for the Xbox with its position currently in Japan. The Switch would make a ton of sense. As long as they can make it run on there and make it run fine for a fighting game, yeah, they'd probably move it over. But I seriously doubt they're already designing it for a Switch Pro or the next Switch. It would be very odd, and it would be very odd for, obviously, the person on Reddit to just guess it and get it absolutely correct. But who knows? I just wanted to point you out and where that's coming from, and you can decide for yourself if that is a solid source for the Switch Pro linked with Samurai Spirits, which is only confirmed so far for the PlayStation 4. Next up, let's talk about some exciting news for retro game fans. That comes down to Panzer Dragoon. Now, if you've played these, you probably had a Saturn and couldn't figure out why none of your friends had a Saturn, but Panzer Dragoon also showed up on the original Xbox. I actually played Orta on there, and I liked Orta, and then it went backwards compatible on the Xbox One, which I still haven't tried out. Actually, I might now that they've announced this, because yes, they are remaking Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2, and according to them, they are bringing it up to modern graphical standards, which is a really, really cool idea, as more people can try the game out in less of a Saturn-looking game, I guess you could say. Orta's still good, but of course, moving it up to standard engines, maybe they'll use Unreal Engine for all we know, who knows? But with where we are now with systems, it'd be really cool to kind of see this happen. Now, this is coming from Forever Entertainment, who has now announced a partnership with Sega, and they're both going to be co-creating and publishing Panzer Dragoon Remake and Panzer Dragoon Remake 2, and these are apparently coming in 2019, and according to them, they have no updates or announcements for systems. They just know that they want to bring it up to graphical standards that we are normalized now today, which to me means, yeah, it's probably going to be a newer engine. They say there's going to be modifications to the game to make it more attractive to modern players. So that's exciting news, because it's really cool to hear about this now. I know what you're thinking, because the same thing I was thinking when I was reading this. What do we do to get Panzer Dragoon Saga remastered? Now, of course, people know that there's word going around about the source code being lost and all kinds of issues, but I think if the demand is there and they see money, they would probably consider remaking Saga completely. But I do think there is going to be a bit of a test here to see if people are that interested in Panzer Dragoon still. And Saga is a game that I think would really benefit from a remake and a remaster, as if you look that game up on eBay, it's very, very expensive. And I'd like to add it to my PlayStation 4 or my Switch collection. Who knows? One thing's for sure, though. I would be shocked if Panzer Dragoon doesn't just go to all systems, including the PC. This has massive multi-platform support written all over it. So I would expect it on even like PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Switch next year. But we'll have to wait to see what platforms they're going to have for it. But one thing's for sure, you can look forward to some Panzer Dragoon next year. And our last bit of news, let's talk about Famitsu's preliminary report for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, we're going to be going over Smash's sales in Japan, because we get straight up numbers, which we don't really get anywhere else in the world. We get rankings, and they'll give us percentages to kind of compare to previous iterations, but they don't give us just straight up hard numbers, which we do get in Japan with things like Media Create. However, Famitsu published a report to kind of give us an idea as to what Smash did in its first 3 days, and the number is staggering. They published 1.3 million units have sold through in its first 3 days just in Japan. This is absolutely ridiculous. We don't know about the Switch sales or how that was affected. We can only imagine Switch sales were pretty high as well. This might be the biggest jump we've seen week to week, even though they sold, hundreds of thousands before. This could still be a large jump. And again, this is something they needed going into the holidays, as this is at that point like the first real week of December, when the holiday season is really starting to get into full effect. But we're going to see serious numbers on Thursday when we go over it. It'll, of course, be released tomorrow, early in the morning on Wednesday, and we'll find out just how much Smash sold. Now, Media Create generally is all physical sales, whereas Famitsu will track some digital as well, and some of the cards and stuff they sell in stores. So it might not be 1.3 million through Media Create. However, there have been times where I've seen Famitsu report less than Media Create. So who knows? But man, anything north of 1 million units in 3 days in one region is massive. And again, I expect something from Nintendo at some point soon when it comes to Smash's sales. They could also wait till the end of the month, maybe, I guess, which they kind of did with Mario Odyssey. There were like 9 million have sold in like a month or so. So we'll see, but if it's that staggering, I can see Nintendo come up with a press release much sooner for Smash. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button. It does help out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about, whether it is this Switch Pro and Samurai Spirits. Doesn't seem the Samurai Spirits is actually confirmed for the Switch based on reporting outside of the, I guess, the conference from Gamatsu, but do you think a Switch Pro would actually get an enhanced version of that game, or do you think it's just kind of hearsay and guessing? Let me know what you think about that. And then Smash's numbers are tomorrow. Where do you think it's going to place? How many units do you think it's going to do on Media Crates? We can look back on the comments. Should be fun. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.